have to disagree with you in that in the next race, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, is where I think Irad Ortiz has his best chance of winning. And that is on number 9, Cogburn, who
yes.
track records at this distance, going 5 furlongs.
No doubt.
And, I talked about Lake Victoria being my most likely winner on Friday. It's hard to make a case as best you can. You can try to convince me otherwise. I've learned my lesson that Cogburn's just unbelievable at this distance and on this surface. So I think Cogburn's your most likely winner on Saturday. I know I'm not breaking any news with that choice. This was a race that was won last year by No Balls. 2022 was Caravel, you'll remember.
Yep.
Mike Smith, Joel Rosario have won the race twice. And Cogburn is 6 for 7 on the turf lifetime, the highest rated overall sprinter in the Longines World Best Racehorse rankings with a 120 ranking. As I mentioned, he has the course record at 5.5 furlongs at Saratoga, going 59-4 with a 111 buyer speed figure in that race. Steve Asmussen said, "First one I've ever had run 5.5 furlongs in under a minute." Really quick and difficult horse. Tim, are you going to try and beat Cogburn?
No.
There you go. Sean, you going to try and beat Cogburn?
No.
All right, good. We're moving on. Sean's, Tim's like, yes, we are. We will.
There's one interesting horse here I will say just quickly on this race, right? That if I'm looking for one of my long shots in the day, people forget Big Invasion came in second in this race last year. The fact that he's 20-1 with Frankie Dettori, I'm just saying that you could get a lot worse horses at 20-1 than Big Invasion, who already has run well in this race.
Yeah, and I want to just bring up a comment here that Sports with Nick mentioned, because I think it is something we always talk about, and actually this year has actually done pretty good, and that is, does anyone care that horses last prep was a Kentucky Downs, and they're like 0 for 68 in the Breeders' Cup? We always talk about that layoff coming out of Kentucky Downs. I just feel like, man, Cogburn is, even if the horse sets back a little bit, I still think he's going to handle this field okay. But that's something to certainly keep into consideration, right, guys?
If any horse is going to break that curse, it's going to be him.
Here's the thing. Cogburn's a different beast, okay? When you look at that statistic, go back and look at the odds of those 68 horses. You find me anybody that was even close to being a 7-5 favorite, because most of those horses were long odds. So it makes sense that they're over, because none of them were expected to win. This is different.
Yeah, I love, someone said on the internet, they called Cogburn the Golden Pal. Kind of like that type of horse is just too fast, you know what I'm saying, and just won with ease. I think this horse will do the same.
Yeah, Sports with Nick, give me a follow over on X, because I use Race Lens, and obviously the entries just came out, so we don't have them yet. But I can run those stats and really get into the nitty gritty on what Tim said, which is, what are the odds of those horses that came back from Kentucky Downs?
Yeah,
it's
0 for 52.
0 for 52.
It's 0 for 52. Yeah, they have not won yet at the Breeders' Cup, winning at Kentucky Downs. Yeah,
so give me a follow. I will pull those numbers for you. I'll put them out there, and we can that's something you certainly want to pay attention to coming in here. The one other thing I'd mention there is, as I mentioned on Friday of last year, you have Big Evs out there in number 11. That was a horse that won the juvenile turf sprint last year, looking to do it again this year, only this time obviously taking on the bigger horses.